Hello everyone and welcome. As you can see, we're back at the house, and today I will be finishing what I started last week. 2 weeks ago, it's a roller coaster ride. I can never keep a schedule, but I realized that I didn't get a chance to actually show you guys the entire property. So let me just do that right now. Okay, so like I said, this is the main gate. I'm showing you the property, and we entrance through the main gate with the house squarely immediately on the right. That is the area where I worked on last time, and this is the big pile of dirt from the excavation that I still haven't gotten clear out. Unfortunately, I won't be getting to it this month either, due to time constraints and everything else still being here. This is an old barn-like thingy we had on the property, and it's one of the only things that we actually kept from the house. Right, I will take you around and show you what I got to finish last time, because it wasn't clear on the video. So last time I actually finished the first round of bricklaying over here, and I did the pour on the cement on the last two, and as you can see, no more cracks. So yippee, no more cracks whatsoever. All right, now we get back to the other side of the house and the rest of the property. This will be our garden area right off the downstairs downstairs outdoorsy patio. Let's go with that. Patio, that was the word. So garden right here with an alley coming straight from the main entrance, going all the way down to the other entrance that I have right there, where you can see right there at the end of the yard, sort of. That will become a second driveway, which we will use as a parking lot, sort of, so our cars just pile up on there. This is another shanty that was left from the old house that we took down, and those were some workbenches the guys who worked on the house made. This will all be torn down, all this garbage removed, and finally right over here, starting from this old outhouse all the way to the back, right there at that tree, I will be making a shed, a tool shed, but it will also double as a workshop, so it will be a workshop overall. And yes, everything starting from here all the way to the entrance is going to be lawn. I know you can't see it right now, but it's a huge space, almost an entire, I want to say, handball court or something. Yeah, it's pretty big. Maybe not as wide, but definitely as long. So there's plenty of space, plenty of space, especially for kids to, like, you know, play in the yard and stuff. And that is the house itself, again with the patio right down here. Lovely, the main entrance right over there, and right now I'll take you upstairs and show you the upstairs terrace. There's only one point of access going up, and that is through the stairs right through here, spiral to save space, and through a small hallway and onto the lovely little terrace, which is a great space. We designed it so it can be open with plenty of space to put a couch, put some tables, sit around, and still have plenty of space for the kids to play, or even add a giant swing. I designed one going up, hanging down from the rafters, so yeah. And check out the view. It's like around 270-degree view, depending on how you look at it, or at least a 180-degree view. And while it might not be mountains, it definitely is a sight to be seen. And speaking of the rafters, because I remember, these were all painted by me using a paintbrush. No, I'm kidding. Using an air gun, not an airbrush. I wish I had one of those. I would have been so insane painting all this with an airbrush. But hey, it was a lot of fun. I'll call it the big airbrush. And I also said I would show you my tower. Even though the previous video did not get all the views I wanted, let me just show you the amazing view I will get from my tower. Now, for now, it's a temporary stair. A ladder that I'm using, that one, which I just climbed up. Come on, focus. All right, perfect. And this is the view that I will be getting from my lovely little office. And it just keeps going and going, and while this phone cannot fully capture it, I am literally seeing for hundreds of kilometers downhill. I can, on a clear day, I can clearly see the next big city close to me right now. And this will be the inside, basically. This will be my office. It's not that big. It's more than enough for it to be a man cave. More for, you know, gaming and stuff. And yeah, that's what I plan. And of course, straight from my man cave, straight into the attic, which will be a huge storage space. Because storage space is also important. Right now, it is being used, of course, as you can see, for storage. Right, well, I guess that's all I had to show you for now. Of course, there are still neighbors, and you can hear the dogs, but usually, and this is because there's commotion right now, but usually it's very, very quiet around here. Hope you guys really enjoyed this view, and now it is time for me to get to work.
First thing on the list was to actually fix the fence. I know I started it last time, and I didn't want to put it off anymore, so first things first. I can't see it quite well, but there is a lot of dirt and earth piled up on the other side of the fence, and that's exactly what I'm doing over there. Additionally, all that dirt is actually filled with plenty of gravel, so I actually had to keep that. I gotta stop saying actually. My wife is actually right about me using actually too damn much. So, yes, like I said, the dirt was filled with lots of gravel, and I plan to use part of that gravel for other construction purposes around the yard. And that is exactly what I'm doing right there. Picking it all up and moving it again inside of the yard, though in a designated area. But you're trying to get rid of all the dirt in your yard. I know, but that's useful dirt. With all the dirt removed, I could focus on tearing the old um, putrid boards down. Now, the boards, the vertical ones, are still okay, but all the ones that go between the posts and that all the vertical ones are attached to are all rotten. So I have to take those out and change them. As you can see, there was a patchwork done by my father-in-law, and he made them stick as best he could, but it is time to get this fixed and once and for all have it uh, the way it should be. Uh, all the contractors actually said that we were going to change our fences and make brand new ones. Well, it was never in the plan nor budget, so this is me just doing the best I can with what I have. And that was the plan all along. We didn't want to take down all those metal posts that were designed that we wanted to keep because they're sturdy, and I know from when I took down some interior ones that were inside the yard, separating the yard, and we wanted open space. And taking them out is very difficult. It actually requires a bulldozer to pull them out of the ground, and uh, I don't have that. So yeah, not going to happen. We're just going to keep using the old posts and just redo the fence as is. Now I am cutting the screws that were used to hold the transversal supports between the pillars. And yes, I know it's not exactly the safest way to do it, but it's the fastest way I have. So, and I know what I'm doing. Kids, don't try this at home. Yes, I know, I am a professional. Just kidding. Look at me go. Oh my god. Looking at this even on fast forward, it's absolutely funny and amazing how I'm doing. Some of those boards were actually another patchwork by me with some screws, and I had to uh, go around and pull them before I could actually push the rest out of the by just hammering them to submission. As you can see, they just come out by hand and just by kicking them or something. So yeah, that's how sturdy the fence was before. You can see I'm literally just pulling them apart with my hands. Hence why I actually had to do this. Besides, while I was doing this, fixing the fence, after it was completed, some dogs were like, going about their business and trying to find their way through the holes that they knew that were there, and found that the fence was actually sturdy this time. And they were so upset, and they were like, "Oh my god, which way do I go now?" But don't worry, there's still like so many holes in our property that they have no problem. They just had to do a little bit of detour. Some of the boards are sturdier than others and were refusing to budge, so I had to go and get a small piece of wood in order not to damage while I was hammering them out. That seemed to do the trick, and a few minutes later all the boards were off and I could get started on removing the final transversal ones, and um, get too busy with putting up new ones and putting the boards back. But before I could actually do that, now I remember, I have to get all the screws out and to get all the nails, old nails out of the old boards and get them ready for um, screwing into the new places. A fun little fact I wanted to mention, I found actually the settings for time lapse on my camera, and right now it's actually filming with time lapse. So um, it doesn't record audio. I found that out um, when I started editing the video, and this will come in handy. This bit of information will come in handy for people who want to do this kind of stuff, uh, because I actually didn't even consider it, and I planned to also have a bit of background noise, and I thought that the video would still be recording. I didn't exactly know how I was going to do it because it's still sped up and everything, even during the editing. But I wanted to see what I could do with the audio and if I could use it in some way. But yeah, also the settings on the camera need to be changed constantly because for the final shot where I will be showing you the progress done and talk a little bit about, I actually forgot to stop the time lapse. So, fun little fact, remember to check the settings on your camera every time you start a video. Now I get to the slow and tedious process of actually removing all the nails from the old boards. It doesn't take that long when you're watching it at 5 times the speed, or I don't know what time speed this is going, because one, it's like 3 speed in the camera while being filmed, then it's sped up to like it's compressed 4 times. So does that make it 7 or 12? Hmm. Yeah, still, you get it. It's fast. But was it boring when I had to do it? Yes, incredibly boring. As you can see, I have some leftover um, wood from the roof, and I plan on using that for the transverse beams that will, the beams, let's call them beams, for the beams that will support the planks of the fence. Now, um, I was hoping I caught on camera how those came down, but unfortunately, that's not the case because I actually threw them through a small window from the attic, and I was really hoping that they um, were caught on camera and they just fell somewhere. But I guess they didn't. Don't worry, nobody was hurt. There was nobody in the yard. Again, I work alone, uh, but it was fun. I was really hoping I catch it, but it didn't catch it. They didn't show up. So that's how big of an impact they made. Oh well. Also, in case you didn't catch it, uh, you know how that thing with measure twice, cut once. Uh, that also applies it, but couldn't figure out that it was on the other side for like a few minutes. I was like, well, wait, I did measure it correctly, and now it's not on the right. It's not the right side, and then I figured, oh right, I used between the other two poles. Yeah, that was like me dum dum. A well-deserved break after a lot of work. Before tackling the boards, I decided to take a small break. Now I'm setting them all up to see exactly where they will fit and to plan ahead, basically. To just have them right there, just screw them in place once they're all set to the correct position. this is where my little power drill decided to almost die on me. Thank God it managed to reach the end of the build, because as soon as you start and you feel the tool that is overheating, uh, you wonder whether or not you actually should have paid for that driver that you wanted to get. Yes, I want to get a driver as soon as possible. It's absolutely essential for yard work and for any of the future projects that I plan. Fortunately, it's a big investment when you're working on a budget, so it's gonna have to do it next month at best. But it's a definite must-have because just um, to you can't see it in the video, but let me explain. So, the reason what I'm doing right now is just putting 2 screws on top so that they just stick there. But I have to drill them as far as the drill can go, and then back it out and go back in and go back out and go back in, so that it actually has momentum, because it can't screw it all the way in a single um, first try. So yes, as I'm going, the drill is getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and it's making more and more noise, and I'm actually, at one point I did think I burned my hand. That's how hot it got, but it managed to last all the way to the end, and I still have it, so fingers crossed that it actually still works. But I'm definitely getting a driver as soon as I can. I'm using an offcut from the beams to make sure that all the boards are the same level against the foundation of the fence. That is the easiest way to do it, instead of measuring, hoping for the best, making sure that they're all on the level. They're not exactly on the level with the rest of the panels, but it's close enough and they all look well enough for what I'm going for, which is a country fence. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I will probably at some point have to take them off and to put them exactly in the correct layers, but for now it's good. Besides this, more work will be done on the fence when I actually paint it, but that's going to come soon, and hopefully I will actually be making a video of that and show you exactly how the paint gun works and how fast it is, because it's going to be much more easier than having to climb up on a scaffolding to paint the rafters. Oh god, was that scary. Especially the outside. Going outside on the rafter, just having some counterweights. Boy, that was some scary stuff, now that I remember. Somebody had to do it, and I was the only one. Yeah, fun times. The final step in the fence was drilling all the boards into the beams on the lower part as well. And if I was scared halfway through the project, when I came towards the end, the drill was like, please stop torturing me. But like I said, it reached the end like a survivor. Like a survivor. And now I start on finishing the little gardens I wanted for the basement windows. First, I set up all my tools just so I can have them ready at hand, and I mix some cement. Of course, nothing goes well, and I mess up the hose, and I have to fix it, but that's a quick fix, no worries. Then mixing the cement, and I plan to do one more level of bricks, and then slant, uh, create a slant for a secondary window that will come on the basement. It's just going to be purely aesthetic, mostly, so that it still allows light, while the main windows, those that isolate and that take care of the ceiling of the basement, are going to be vertically into the poured cement of the basement. This is just to make sure that any wind, any rain that comes is goes off, goes on a slope towards the ground instead of, into the gardens or something like that. But that's after I finish this one layer of bricks. All that dust you see is me cutting up some parts of a brick to fill in the final gap, which is, you know, never the same. So yeah, you will see it much more easily and focused for the next few ones that I handle when I begin the slopes. Now I begin working on the slopes, and the brick right next to the wall will be a normal brick with the rest being slanted because I can easily fill in that gap. So as you can see, I am cutting them diagonally according to I used a bit of a wooden offcut to simulate to see exactly where I need to cut, marked on the brick, and then began cutting. I finally finished. I don't have a large enough blade, so I can cut directly the brick in one go. So I have to do it in two stages on either side, and then crack it open. And then I have to polish it a bit so that it's straight. And that is the first one done. As you can clearly see, it moves quite fast. The only long part is actually cutting those few bricks. I only have to lay down a few, and that's what I plan to do for the rest of the for all of them. And on top of that, I will have a window. I plan to make a I don't know how to say it. A mold. That's the one. A mold, and have pour cement in it to make it completely straight for the window to sit on. Because right now I have no guarantees that it's on the same level and anything. So those bricks are just there to fill in the gaps, so to speak, between the cement railing that will going to come around the ring of cement that will come on top of that. That pouring of cement will probably be done next time when I go there, or even later, because I have to figure exactly how I'm going to make sure that it's perfectly leveled across the thing. And I'm thinking that I will make the cement on the mold, the cement mold, a single solitary item, linking them sort of from both sides to make sure that it is completely level. That is how I'm thinking of doing it. I'll see if I manage to do it like that. And uh, aren't you fortunate that you get to see this from the comfort of your monitor? Because being there in all that dust, trust me, it's no pleasure at all. And as you can see, I don't have a mask, and while I plan on getting one of those, uh, I will not be needing it for a short project like this one. I wasn't gonna bother with uh, purchasing one, but I will probably get one in the future. And that is most of the work done. And yeah, that's all my thoughts for now. More to come a bit later.
Well, that was a fine day's work. If I do say so myself. Oh boy, was that tiring! And damn, is it dusty? mm. Was it bloody dusty? Cutting those things apart, those bricks. But hey, it worked. I achieved my desired effect, and now I finally have my lovely little windows.
And as I mentioned before, this is the part where I filmed everything in timescape instead of, in normal time. Now, everything that I've said right there, and which I presented to you these windows in close up and detail, is completely lost. So I'm doing the voiceovers again and showing you what I remember saying. Um, that drain that you can see right there is slanted, and unfortunately it's a lot higher than the fence foundation, and I have to figure out a way to actually get the water that's going to come down on it outside of the property. Hopefully, as I said, as I was saying, I'm hoping that the authorities will uh, dig a trench outside for drainage, and I can go right into that one. The final things that I wanted to show you guys that I missed are the bedrooms, which are the ones that we just saw, and the small one with the bathroom in between. The same thing is true for the upstairs, with the exception that on top of the staircase there is a um, technical space which will house our central heating unit. Finally, one last look at the view from the terrace, and that's basically it for today. Next time, I promise that when I make one of these videos, I will remember to uh, take off time lapse. That's it for now. Bye bye. If you like the video, please subscribe.